Okay, thanks everyone. First of all, thank you for hopping on the training. I'm really excited because I want to see you guys take control of everything of your life and get time back. This is going to be less than 15 minutes. If you watch it at double speed, 7.5 minutes, but I do speak New York speed, so that means that maybe a bit fast. So this training is going to help you uncover parts of your business that can be streamlined in 3 simple steps. So with that, let's get started on how to automate your business, save time, and make more money. My name is Matt. I'm from Optimized Owner. The agenda. Okay, I want to identify the process that you want to improve, understand the value of what you're doing, introduce you to the EAD framework, do a couple of case studies, and then some next steps. So each day, what % of time are you spending what you want to do? And how are you investing the time? Is it stuff that you have to do or stuff that you want to do? And that's something to keep in the back of your mind as you continue over the next couple of days. Because if you aren't spending time on what you want to do, likely you aren't going to end up getting the best results and getting the life that you want and deserve. So I would say for a list, figure out for a week, make a list of what angers you. What is it that bothers you? What is it that gets to your core and just ticks you off? Write that stuff down. What we want to do is also look at where your time is going. I like Clockify.me. That's what we use internally to track all of our team's time. It's free. It'll keep you going and will give you some pretty good insights into where time is going. They've got an iOS and an Android app. But the bottom line is whether you're using an app like Clockify, whether you're using a spreadsheet or just a piece of paper, just write down and track where your time is going. Because whatever gets watched and measured changes. So if you're measuring it, you'll get the results. What we want to do is take the things that are unimportant. Okay, so this is an Eisenhower matrix, which is the important and unimportant and the urgent and not urgent. So essentially, the important and urgent is usually what you end up doing. What we want to do is take the things that are not urgent, but important, which are the things that are planning, the things that are taking things off of your list, and move them temporarily to the urgent and important. And the next logical question is, well, why would I want to do that if it's not urgent? The answer is because you're wasting a ton of time. If you look, companies waste an average of $28,000 per knowledge worker per year. That's assuming that you're only making $67,000 a year. So if you're making more than $67,000 a year, chances are you're wasting more than that. But the value of this and the value of moving things to from the not urgent and important to the urgent and important is to get them off your list forever. Let's look at a couple of examples. So mowing the lawn. If you're making $750,000 a year, would you mow your own lawn? The answer is yes, because you love it and it's relaxing and it's when you think about things and get strategy done. Or it may be that you hate it and it's a horrible use of your time. If you're preparing invoices or frontline customer service. Now, I'm not saying that you should never talk to customers. I'm not saying you should never answer the phone. But should it be your primary goal, duty, and responsibility is the question. Preparing invoices. Is that the best use of your time? Or could you just get by either reviewing or not reviewing invoices at all, depending on what processes you have in place? So when should you outsource? I would say figure out what the hourly value of your time is. And you can do that by taking your annual salary per year, truncate the number, and divide by 2. So for example, if you're making $50,000 a year, that would be 50, truncating the 1,000, divided by 2 is $25 an hour. And it works up and down. So $500,000 a year would be 500 divided by 2, which is $250 an hour. Tasks that are lower than $250 an hour, you should consider about outsourcing. You should consider, is this the best and highest use of my time? Then also, if it happens more than 3 times, if it's something that you expect to happen on a repeating basis, think about handing it off to someone else. And that could be someone internal or external, or if it takes longer than an hour. If it takes longer than an hour, chances are it's something that at least part of, if not all of, could be handed off to someone else. And likely, it's better to do it once and figure out the best way to pass it off to someone else than to just handle it yourself on an ongoing basis. What we want to do is systematize the repeatable so you can focus on opportunity. Because opportunity is one of those things that comes around when you have time and are able to schedule it in, but doesn't happen when you're overscheduled, stressed, and can't manage the basics of operations. So do a process to operate your business. We have built out everything from how to take care of the dog. And this is literally a 3-page document that I print out anytime we go away and we have our dog watched when we're traveling on vacation, or how to create a shipping label. If you look, every single step is taken care of. And then if you scroll down, you would see that there are little squares around where to click for each thing, and where, like, everyone knows, no matter what, whether it's their first day on the job or their last day on the job, they know how to get this information and likely how to do almost anyone, if not anyone's job. So this is what I call handling something for the last time. What it's doing is it's capturing it by either recording video, recording audio, writing it down, making sure that it is documented in a way that someone else can develop the process so you don't have to manage it. That is what we're looking for in general. Okay, let's look at some case studies now. So we're going to look at an operations-based case study. We're going to look at a sales automation case study, and then automating the CRM. So the old process for this client, he's a business broker and had listings on multiple sites, had 5 or 6 different websites, and everything was coming into him, into his inbox, and it was driving him crazy. Because he was spending over 20 hours a week just managing the inflow of leads, many of whom were not very good leads. So what we did was we essentially built out we took the process, mapped it out, and we go from the start. There are leads that come in by multiple emails. We parse, meaning we're taking the data from the email and putting it into a spreadsheet. Then we have a Selenium script, which opens a virtual browser, logs in the CRM, creates the record, pastes the fields, selects the NDA to send out, sends out an NDA with an email message. Then if the customer doesn't answer, it reminds them. If they do answer, then essentially it ends up getting escalated to the broker. So let me show you what it looks like in practice. I can show you what, this is code that usually is running in the background. So this is a video that captures it. But if you look, you can see that it logs in. And then once it logs in, it'll actually go over and notice how it's typing in all the information. And then it's asking a question, because that was what the customer sent over in the question. And because the system is slow, we actually had to slow down the process at multiple steps. But you can see it just put in the email. It's now selecting things, selecting the NDA to send out. Then it sends out the NDA. And you can see this is the CRM that's moving. This, again, is a video capture because it runs on a server, so it doesn't actually normally look like this. You can see that's what happens, and that's how it works. And this way, it also keeps the CRM always up to date. So when someone goes at the end of the year looking to see, I want to send out a holiday card, I want to send out this or that piece of communication, the CRM is always up to date, as opposed to having something that is a little bit in this inbox, a little bit in that inbox. Oh, I'm not really sure. My email server crashed, things like that. Now, if you want to get fancier, we can enrich the data, which we're not doing right now for this. But this is a friend of mine, Joe, and Joe runs a marketing company called Ajax Union. The only data field that we put in here is Joe's email address, Joe at Ajax Union. And what it came up with is his name, his image, his full email, which we gave him, his bio, employment information, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter information, as well as about his company, domain, what it is, company revenue, company size, company location, and the company, Facebook and Twitter as well. And we can do all of this stuff very easily and very inexpensively just by building out the data and getting a little bit fancier. So moving on to the second case study. This is a case study where we had a process that was managed onshore, and how do we fully automate it? So initially, there was staff in the office who was managing a whole lot of email leads that were coming in. And that worked to begin with. Then it was passed off to someone who is offshore. And then we've now had the data, and then we moved it to a full automated process. So what happens is an ad is seen in these are usually on either Google or Facebook's network. They go to a landing page. An email is sent in based on a lead form on the landing page. Then an email parser takes it, scores it, and determines whether they're high value. If they're high value, it goes direct to a live salesperson. If it's low value, it gets a response. But it doesn't get a normal response, because your typical low value lead response would be just a one sentence, hey, not a fit, sorry about that. But this, because it is a scripted response, has a longer response. And by that, I mean, it says, we're sorry we're not a fit. Someone in your situation could look to the following 3 places to get further along and to get your problem solved. Even though they're not a right fit for our client, doesn't mean you can't provide value and can't have someone move further along in their journey and get closer to the right answer for them. Just because you aren't the right answer doesn't mean you can't leave the world a better place and make life easier for them. So that's what we built out. And then the next thing would be lead response automation. So what we have is, this is a conversational assistant, and this essentially allows leads to not die and continues auto follow-up. Because when someone fills out a form, it may be that right now isn't the right time for them, but it doesn't mean that never is the right time either. I have seen millions of dollars that lie in inboxes just in the assumption and self-talk and self-doubt that people have in not responding to leads. So what we have here is a process where we start, a lead comes in by a lead form, and then you can reply to the person and copy an assistant. And the assistant is actually a piece of software. And the emails are responded to and followed up with at a specific cadence. Certain businesses like a much more aggressive cadence. Other companies like a slower cadence, meaning that it could be that you touch someone by email every month, every 2 months, could be every week, sometimes multiple times a day. It really depends on what the needs are and what it is that is being sold. So what we're building towards is automation 0, which is automating your lead and sales. Because if you've got lead gen and sales automated, that essentially allows you to communicate the strategy and process. Leads move 24/7, and you can then essentially build out audiences on Facebook and automate things so you can get out of the day-to-day. So the question is, who are you? Are you a DIY person? Are you someone who's going to do it yourself? Or are you someone who's going to write a check to get something solved? And either is a fine answer, but just know who you are. If you're someone who is going to do it yourself, great. When are you going to start? Because the key thing is this webinar does nothing if you don't take any action. Then if the answer is no, well, if you don't want to do it yourself, who or what is going to get you there? And what is going to get you the results and get you further along to implement this and take control of your life and have a better life and a better business that ends up being more profitable and meeting your needs. So I would say if you've got any questions, would love to talk to you, optimizedowner.com/call. And we're happy to talk to you and happy to have a consultation understanding what your problems are directly. Again, I appreciate your time, and I believe we are way under the 15 minutes. So thanks so much. Have a great day.